Facebook so everybody has access to it. Facebook group, share, copy link. Facebook. Today we're going to go over a lot of the features about colors and how we're able to match certain colors and how certain colors don't match whenever we do this. Posts, we're so ask your questions. There we go. Posts. So it's now posted to everybody in the channel, and I'm also going to post it here. Sweet. Okay. So what we want to do is do some specific color matching with these machines. So it's extremely hard for you guys, and I know it's hard in the sense that maybe you want a specific color, a specific Pantone, and there's no really description as to what you should use as a hex color code to get those colors, right? So this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I'm actually spending a lot of time doing, dialing the colors depending on the settings that we have. So let's say that we set up a base setting that we're using neon effects, so neon inks, and we want to make sure that we have the most vibrancy as possible. Well, I'm going to create a color chart to be able to send you guys exactly the hex code that we're using so that you can have that hex code in your system. Now, everybody uses Pantone colors, right? So my goal is to transfer the whole Pantone chart to be able to get hex colors, exact hex color that you can use. So it represents what we're printing and how you can achieve, for example, a 4085C red. Well, what's the color you can use in your design to get that red? I'm going to be able to give you that. Right now, it's not available, but I'm working on it. This is what I've been spending a lot of my time doing and testing a lot of colors on different type of garment, making sure it's consistent on every garment. So I'm doing a basis of it, and now we're going to go and jump in just to test an artwork and see the difference from a screen to on press. So I'm going to take this garment right here, and I'm starting to get good at this because I've been doing quite a lot. I'm not seeing anybody's questions because I'm doing this. So guys, if you do have any questions, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to respond right now, but I'm going to be able, we're going to check the live after and respond to questions if you guys have questions. So, I mean, I might be able just to open up YouTube at the same time. Can I see view channel? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to be able, we're going to check the live after. So, okay. Do this here. What I'm going to do is download the artwork for this design. And what I did is we have this, I'll be right back. We have this tool, the NYX Spectro 2. It's a pretty nice tool. This is what we use to dial in all of our machines. So this tool right here is what I'm going to be able to match your Pantone colors. So that's what I'm going to use to match the Pantone book. So let's say I wanted to match and print this perfect yellow right here. What I would use is scan this right here with this machine. It would give me a color, an accurate color with the LAB color spectrum, the hex color spectrum, the sRGB color spectrum. So I'm going to be able to use that and then create what I call this print file setting to where I'm going to use that color and put it right in the middle. So I'm using Photoshop. I'm going to use a color overlay, add the color in the center, and then there's a bunch of different settings that we use to be able to create different variations, right? So let's say that Pantone says for the 485C is a RGB value of 255, 0, and 255. I'm saying numbers out there. See you, Audrey. Love you. Bye. So I would put my red here in the middle, and then all the settings that we created, whether it's more vibrancy, less vibrancy, more saturation, are going to give us a wide color gamut so that we're going to be able to get that 485C within those colors, right? That's the goal. I don't want to reprint this. So The goal is to put 485C, the values that Pantone is giving us right here in the middle, and then it's going to create, I call it the tree. It's going to give me the tree of all the colors, so I'm going to be able to test. So what I did here is, in this artwork, we have the brown that she wants and the light green that she wants. So what we do is I added the brown right here in the middle, and it's going to give me a bunch of variations, so I'm going to be able to get and match that color. I also did it with her light green, which is right here, and her dark green here, and then beige for this one. So let's go and download all of these. And what we're going to do is simply go to print. So one at a time, I'm going to do that. Download this artwork as well. Download this artwork. All right, now I'm going to upload this on the hoodie palette. And the first thing I'm going to do is probably just print her bird and see how it comes out naturally, right? And then I'm going to print the colors underneath. So I have the image right here. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to go to our standard settings. Standard. I don't want fixation. 90% whiteness. 90. So this is secret sauce. So if you own a Kornit, well, this is really good information. It's hours and hours spent trying to find the perfect settings to get the best print results. So screen capture this if you want. Now 4 passes because we want to make sure we're getting the most vibrancies. Then that's good. All right. I'm going to add this in our settings to where I want it to be darker. 92. Save this, go back here, reload. All right, now what I'm going to do is spray the garment, and I'm actually going to save the setting. So I'm going to call it fleece live recording. All right. So darker, and we're going to start fixation, spray and wipe of 75. Another 40 down and see what that's going to give me. You want a nice sheen. You want to make sure that all the pores of the fiber is actually not soaked completely, but you want it to be, you want like that. Still, we're missing some. There's not enough of a sheen to it. It's getting there, so I might put another 15. So 75, 40, 15. And now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start writing down, right? So I can track this. 75, 45, 15, fix. I can see the pores of the garment through still. So I'm going to shoot another 15. You can see holes. And if I print on that, then I'm injetting ink onto the garment. So I'm going to be missing some fixation. I'm going to see holes through my print, and I don't want that. So 15. So now it would be adding up fixation, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. I might be missing a tad still. That's crazy. That's a lot of fixation. So 15, 15. And then QW. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is print this setting. I just want to make sure that my media height is set to 3 and it's not. So I'm going to go into KSF and just upload my media height. Save. Reload. And go printing. Okay. So now this is printing. I'm going to take my brown. Perfect. I'm going to shrink this down to where I can fit 2 side by side. Okay. Fans, 4 colors. Perfect. And then light green. Got to make sure this is at 3. Shrink it down. Perfect. It's actually pretty good. It looks very nice. It's dark, but it looks very nice. I mean, the brown was actually pretty dark. So, Catherine, I think it's actually pretty good. We're going to have to look at it, but I think that's really good. So, 3. This is 201. 201 is my palette. Yeah, my palette's 400 and something. So, it might be tight. There we go. All right. And what I'm going to do here is add the color saturation mode to darker. Save, and color saturation mode to darker. All right. So we're going to go and print. I'm actually going to stop it. I didn't reload my files, so I'm going to bring the shirt back. Reload. I was quick on that one, so I got it before it went in. All right, let's go. And as we're waiting and printing some shirts, obviously the fixation is soaking into the garment, so we're losing some of that wetness, which means that my print is actually going to soak more into the fiber. So if I am seeing some pinholes in my artwork, right now I'm not really going to worry about it because I know that this garment, first of all, drinks a lot. Like, it was very dry. So I'm not going to worry as much as the print quality. I just want to make sure that the colors are as accurate as I can, right? It shouldn't be that bad in the sense that my colors should still be pretty good. Now, QW 100, 10, 100 solid, QC. I was at 55, 10, 100. Performance enhancer. I was at 40. -3, 100, and solid. Okay, so we're getting all the variations for the brown. And we're going to do the same thing for the light green. So that, and then I'm just going to read this here. So for just remembering what I'm putting, 155. Yep. So this is 4 pass on color. I also added the perceptual darker mode. Awesome. It's going to come in. There we go. So if, for example, Catherine really wanted to have a light green that looked more like this, well, what I would do now is once we're going to put this through a dryer, I'm going to take this out, and then we can take this color spectrum, this next color spectrum that we have right here. And when everything's going to be dry, I'm going to be able to scan this specific color, and it's going to give me a hex code. So I'm going to be able to go into Photoshop, into Illustrator, and use that hex code for my design. So instead of having this one that is the middle line, I'm going to be able to use this one right here, where obviously in my design, when I'm going to look at it, it might look lighter than I want or might look darker, but you know that when it's going to print exactly the color that you want. So it's a medium that we have to balance, because obviously every single printer is trying to mimic what we're seeing on screen. We obviously have neon colors, so we're able to hit a wider color gamut than standard printers, but we're still limited by the factors in the sense that if I'm adding more white base on this garment versus maybe another printer or maybe the standard setting on this machine, I'm tweaking the result of that color, right? Because the more white I add under my colors, the more brightness I'm bringing through my colors. So if we're not using the standard color from the machine, I need to redo the settings. Then that's exactly what we're doing, right? We want to make sure that your prints are as bright and as vibrant as possible. So the standard setting for us did not pass the quality that we wanted to send out, which is why I'm doing all these settings and all these tests. So what I would do now is simply take this garment, and I have my artwork, the original artwork. And I also have my variation of colors, so I know what it came out the first time. So if I'm going to reprint this, I can go and compare it to it. I'm also going to add all the notes. So if I do reprint this on exactly the same garment, I'm going to be able to know exactly what I did and keep track of it, right? So we have keep thermal labels, which is just standard labels that we use that can go in the dryer. So this is going to go through the dryer, and then it's going to give me a result on the other side. So that's the process that I do for every single color that when we want to match all of our machines, right? We want to make sure that all of our 4 machine is working. So I'm using this machine as well as this setup to make sure that the density of our ink is exactly the same on every single machine. So when we're printing on machine 1, 3, 2, 4, it doesn't matter, even machines down the road in US, this is all tracked in our system. So we're going to be able to replicate exactly the same artwork. It's a true POD production system, but it's actually sustainable in the sense that you know that your garments and your artwork's always going to be consistent, which is why I'm spending so much time doing all these tests. And then the result of no base versus base, what does it do? How are we able to get some vibrancy? I can show you the problems I'm getting if I'm trying to get more vibrancy out of a print. I'm adding fixation underneath, but if I add too much fixation to remove fibrillation, I'm getting some ghosting around my images. So I don't know if you can see, this is very subtle, but it's still there compared to this one right here, where you're not seeing a lot, right? Well, actually, you're not seeing none. This is perfect. It's extremely sharp. You see the nice definition. There's no fibrillation. This is a Comfort Colors garment as well, so it's really nice. And then if we go onto a fleece, same print setting, you can see that it's extremely vibrant. You can see a bit more of the fibers because obviously it's a fleece, but this has no base, no white ink at all whatsoever. So very, very nice print. We get all the details to it. So it's cool. And this settings, right? I don't want to have any of these pinholes. So I'm trying to tweak and play with the settings to make sure I remove all the pinholes, whether it's too much fixation, not enough poly enhancer, really want to get the softest hands possible without having to heat press. Right now we're heat pressing everything. But I don't think down the road we're going to have to do this. I think it's more retail ready, not to heat press. So personal opinion, again, we need your feedback. We want to know what you like, what you don't like about the system. And yeah, another really, really cool thing is obviously we did not have any sleeves for DTG, right? So what we would do is, for example, this would be printed with DTF, and then we would print everything for the front, for example, that the customer wanted with DTG. Well, you can clearly see that our DTG machines print way more vibrant colors. They have the neons in them, so the color vibrancy is a lot better. So what I had to do is do exactly what I just showed you guys. I had to print the color spectrum on the DTG. I had to print the color spectrum on DTF. And then I had to actually match DTF because DTG was so vibrant. So I had to dull down the print to be able to get the same colors on the sleeve and the front. So now, good news is to share pictures. Would it be possible to share pictures? Of course. Yeah, you can share pictures. What do you want to test? You want to send me an email? Or maybe send me an email and I'll do tests and show you guys what exactly we're able to get with the colors. But yeah, I'm doing this test here so we can get the system. Would it be possible to share pictures? Do you want me to share the pictures of the result? It's gonna take it's in the dryer for 9.5 minutes. So I'll share some pictures of the result afterwards for sure. No problems. But let's go to the really good news I have, and it's this right here. So we actually received our sleeve palettes, short sleeve, long sleeve palette, and we can now print on sleeves, short sleeves. So you want me to do a test? Go. So it's not the same system. It's just shorter palette because obviously we're printing sleeves. So it's a lock system instead of just being a quick release. It's closing down. I'm going to change my palette on the machine. Remove that. Okay. Short sleeve. I'm going to zero out my palette. I'm just going to take that away, make sure it doesn't go in the machine. Really nice tool if you guys like colors. This is an amazing tool. I love this thing. It's really nice. All right, so that's been done. Let's upload. Should we upload the same file for that garment or something else? I don't mind. I mean, it was a nice file. Let's print. Let's actually upload the other one. Let's upload the green one. So that's not. Yeah, that's not the dark brown. That's a green one. Let's shrink it. Let's put it in the middle. What garment should I use? Let's use this one. Let's use this one. And okay, there's a print here on the sleeve. And I did the test print earlier. So now we were matching, which is really, really good. But let's just print it. That's me doing more tests. So this is no base. This is with base. So you can clearly see that no base looks a lot duller, a lot more vintage in part of the garment. If I was going on a white shirt, it would look very similar to this because I'm printing on white paper, right? Taking white crayon. But obviously you can use this on darker garments. So if this is something that you're looking for, you can do this. So what I would do for a sleeve, let's take a true sleeve. So heavy cotton, the reason why I'm looking at it is because I want to know how much fixation to add. So what you're doing is you're placing your sleeve directly on the pallet. You're holding it down. You're pushing your garment under because you don't want it to go anywhere. And now what we're going to do is this setting here, 140, 40. Yeah, normally we don't do this for these types of garment. We go a bit lower. All right, so through that. That's pretty cool. And then I'm gonna go in the settings, simply update this to darker, true, yep. Reload file, let's try this as 45. So normally all these settings are done and they're done in advance. So I'm gonna do 30 here just to test it out. I'm gonna spray and wipe. It's gonna spray the whole palette. So I'm just gonna do this and see if we have the right amount. But normally you wouldn't have to do this. So it's pre-done and registered in the system. We're missing a lot of fixation. So I'm gonna do another 20, spray it. And obviously these garments are damaged garments that went through the system, right? So they went through the dryer maybe once, maybe twice, which is why they're extremely dry. So the more moisture removed from the garments, obviously the more moisture you have to add back to be able to print on a flat surface. So this garment was printed on the front and I think there's a neck tag to it. So it went through the dryer for 10.5 minutes. So if there was any moisture in the garment, it was obviously removed by just drying for so long. So every time we have to have a second print, third print on the garment, we have to consider that and make sure that the fixation is adjusted for those second, third, fourth print. Yeah, that's really nice. So now you can have really small details printed directly onto your sleeve garments. Video, 100% all of them. That's why I was asking for a picture. The resolution of the video isn't 100% optimal. That's why I was asking pictures. Aha. Yep. Can we change this to make it high resolution? That's a really good question. I think for the live videos, we're going to have to upgrade either. Is it Wi-Fi? We can definitely add pictures. I'm going to add them to the Facebook group after. But I think the posted live event video is going to be high resolution. I mean, that's pretty cool. And it might be, the live might be slow and lagging because we're actually moving around. I don't know. I have to do more research on that. But that's really, really nice. That's a small design. Okay, so it's halfway through a jar, so I'm not going to be able to see the other hoodie. So let's keep going. What else should we? Can keep showing. But yeah, I think if we're trying to get any Pantone colors, I'm going to have to give you guys a chart for every single color and hex colors that you can use for those Pantones. I don't understand why they're not available yet coming from this machine, and it's understandable in the sense that we're creating our own settings for our machines, right? So we're going to do that. But obviously, if you want colors that are outside the Pantone realm, which is colors that have more neons in them. So let's say that you want to hit this neon yellow, or you want something that's cherry, or I don't know, that is not part of the Pantone system. We're going to have to do the same process that we did here. So maybe we're going to have, let me know what you guys think. Maybe we're going to have a sample book that you can order swatches, and it's going to be maybe printed on a shirt so you can see and actually physically see these. We can have this test and you can see the hex colors that we use to get the colors that are not in the Pantone spectrum, because we can get extremely, extremely vibrant colors. Where's that? There's so many shirts I've been doing this. I mean, this teal color, this vibrant, and I mean, there's lines in these print. That's why I'm adjusting the settings, but you can see that the vibrancy of the colors that we're able to get is extremely bright. So I'm trying to figure out that's really cool. AI does nice designs. I mean, the white are so white. It's crispy white. So, okay, let's do another turn around the shop. There's a lot of changes, and again, like I was saying last time, DTF has in place and has a reason why it's there in the industry, and we're always trying to solve this solution. So, for example, the neck tag station that we're doing right now, we're building it out to be able to be extremely efficient, and the only way to be efficient is to work in teams, right? To work in pairs. So we have Renovation here, which is my father. We call him Rene, but we call him Renovation because he does all the renovation around here. So what we do is now we're building our own wall, which is gonna carry bins. So it's gonna be bins just like this, and they're all gonna be numbered. So it's gonna be 1, 2, I think 1,000 or something like that. There's gonna be a lot directly on the wall, and when we're gonna print your neck tags, they're going to be scanned. There's a barcode on them. They're scan them, and then it's going to tell us in which bin number they go. So a person's simply going to scan every single neck tag, place it exactly in the right bin, and then another person on the other side is going to have your garments that have been picked. So what they're going to do is scan the garment. It's going to tell them, okay, it's in bin 23. They're going to take your garment, take the item from bin 23, and simply put it on the table to be done, right? So we have Sana here, and that's exactly what she's doing. She's doing a bulk order right now, so it's simple, but I would just work as a pair, and I would give her the garment and the neck tag that she needs to work on, and she would do it right there, put it on a cart. I would go and get another garment, scan it, take the system, and go right there to town. So that's, I think, what we're going to try to replicate with DTF here. So we built our bin wall, which is here, but now we're also going to build a pretty much like a same station with a really large table. We're going to have a bunch of heat presses. So we're going to have, we call them a feeder and heat press people. So whether we have 5 people that feed, so take a garment, scan it, it's going to tell them in which bin the artwork is, take it, put it on the table to get done right away. We're removing a lot of steps. We're removing a lot of touch points in the sense that right now what we're doing, we're building carts, right? And we were doing, okay, build one cart, build all the stacks of sheets, take those 500 garments, go and get them pressed, and then get them QC'd. While if the wheel never keeps, like there's no break in the wheel, it's just continuous wheel, everybody works together, the flow is going to be a lot better. So we're still trying to make a solution to where it's efficient. And then we obviously need a better solution for the DTF roll-to-roll system. It needs to be cut in line. We have to have a system to where either there's a robotic arm that takes the sheet at the end of the dryer and place exactly into bins to where we can go and stack them after. But it's all on the table, right? We're trying to find solutions to make it efficient for everybody. We also changed the shipping area. We removed boxes from the top of the bins so that we can see further. And we also added sections to where now, as soon as it's out of the dryer, it's put directly into the bin or shipped. So giving us more space in the shipping area and quicker access to bins so we can turn around bins a lot faster. We also get every single orders out in the morning when we print the labels. Every morning we refresh the system and it tells us what single item orders there's in the workflow that we can print the barcode right away and go to production. I don't know if you can hear this, but my father is cutting a hole in the wall, so you might get some sound. Um, so what was I saying is exactly the fact that every single item orders are going to be produced extremely fast, especially if you're doing DTG. The reason why is because every single morning we go in the system, we filter all single item orders just to go and be picked so we can start the wheel in the morning, get things going and get the whole team flowing. And then all multi orders are getting picked right after. So you're probably going to see in your system right now, all your single item orders are done within a few hours because we're picking them right away and getting to town. Whereas multi orders are done more in the afternoon or the next morning because they went through the process, right? So that's a nice tool, a nice tip that we added to the feature, which is we only see in the back end, but still very exciting news. All right, our garment is getting out of the dryer. It's actually really soft and really nice. And you can see that the colors, like it's very, very dark in the sense that the dark brown came out very dark and then the light green came out very nice. But if you look at, can you see the colors properly? Yeah. So we get a lot of variations, right? In the sense that when I'm using this color palette, I'm able to get the color that we uploaded in the middle and then, all right, bring up brightness up, bring brightness down, bring contrast up, bring contrast down. And then it gives me a spectrum of what I can use afterwards in Photoshop or Illustrator. So if I want, for example, maybe Catherine, you want this specific light green. Well, we can go and scan this and it's going to give me a hex color value that you're going to be able to use. It's very interesting to be able to do this. We weren't able to do this before. We would have to use a Pantone chart and be like, okay, what's the closest Pantone to that? It wasn't accurate. Now that we have this in the Nix tool, we can be extremely specific and give you guys exactly the right hex color codes that you can use in your designs. Yeah, that's really cool. I think the brown is actually pretty nice. Catherine, I think that's the one that I saw when we were talking on the phone, and I do like this. But again, that's personal preference. Maybe you think it looks too dark. We should try this without any underbase. See what it does. You want to try that?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Is there a print in the front? Yeah, there's a print in the front, but there's space at the bottom. So let's try this artwork without any underbase. Oh, I have to. I mean, can I use this one right here? Because I don't want to change the palette. Let's use this one instead. Don't I have a high res image of that artwork? I think I do. Let me just go in the system and see. Um, there we go. Okay, let's try this without any underbase. So yeah, that's the one. Oh, it's extremely small. Why is this artwork so small? I'm gonna bump it up, but that's really not good for resolution. Okay, so this I'm gonna do light cotton. I'm gonna do 10% fixation. I'm gonna bring this to 20. Perceptual for passes. That and then bring this download. Where's my artwork? Which one am I using? Okay, yeah. Sort by date. There we go. I want this to be darker. And now high quality, 4 passes of color, Q fix on top, 10% fixation, no weight base. All right, let's see how that comes out. I don't need to spray anything on this garment because it's a no base tee. So we're only adding 10% fixation, which is why. Do you think the brown is too dark? Maybe we should light it up. Yeah, I think that we should maybe light it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here. Do that. Upload this. All right. Sorry, I can't do 2 things at once. Darker, save. So maybe the color that we can definitely lighten up. I think it would help to get the brown not look as dark as a black. Maybe that's what we don't like. So let's send it in the system. Either we light it up or we use something like this, right? Where we're simply printing a no base on the garment. I think this would look very, very nice as well. And you're going to see this is a lot slower because we're printing high quality. And when I'm saying high quality, it's simply that we're taking the artwork and we're expanding it with more resolution, right? So instead of printing a 6x6, which is 600 by 600, right now we're printing an 800 by 800. So we're dropping down more ink. Essentially, that's what it is. And we're also printing at 4 passes. We're always printing at 4 passes, whether there's a white underbase or not. The reason why we're using high quality for the no base system is simply because we want to add more density to our ink. So, yeah. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks really good. But it's dark, right? So maybe you're right, Catherine. Maybe we should bring that brown and put it later. I think this looks really good. Personally, I think that's awesome. So let's put that through the dryer and see how it comes out. Again, there's not going to be any Pantone match or swatches match for no base. And the reason why is because we can never dictate how your colors are going to look because I'm going on a different garment. It could be done for whites, but as soon as we go, for example, on this, peach, is that peach? Like white, salmon peach color. My color would be completely different, right? I mean, just look at the difference that we have here compared to the one that's on the dryer. I mean, this one has bright light green and my duck is like brown, whereas this almost looks black and like a really subtle tone on tone green effect. It really depends what look you want and feel. Personally, I think the darker colors looks a lot better here than here in the sense that here there's a shine to it because we have a white base, right? So it's truly like brown. It's dark, but as soon as there's light that reflects to it, it seems like it's black. So if you guys like a better like feeling that's darker tone, maybe do a tone on tone effect and go with a no base system. But again, this is going to have to be a trial and error effect. The best way to do this is to use multiply in your Illustrator or Photoshop on your color of your garment so you can tweak the colors while using multiply to see the desired result and what it's going to look like. Because if you use the multiply effect, you're going to see right away what it's going to look like on the garment. So we added that feature in the design tool I showed you guys last week to where it's going to show you the true resolution, true colors of a no base on the mockups. So, I mean, maybe I can just iterate that again. Renee really doesn't want to stop working. So if I just go into the design tool, products, and I take any this is a really, really good product here to do this. So to iterate my case, darker version looks way better. It's not darker version, it's no base. Yeah, so no base, I agree. It looks a lot better. So if you use this in the design tool and you use no white ink, no base, look what it does. So it's going to give you an accurate result of what it would be. So I mean, I could even do this with the design that we have, just to iterate the case of what I'm trying to say. So this, upload it. And I mean, I could probably add sizes and colors to get like a green. Headed military green should be fine. Okay, so this is what I mean, that's pretty much what we're getting with a white base, right? So if I go into the system and I say, okay, no white ink, that's exactly what we just printed. So it's giving you really accurate results. So if you're not sure, take your designs. If you don't know how to use Multiply in Illustrator, Photoshop, put it in the design tool and see how it comes out. It's going to give you a good idea. So standard brightness, it gives us what we printed on the other shirt, and then no white, everything, it removes all the brightness to it. So yeah, no base version. I agree. I think no base looks really, really good. Um, I maybe we would switch with that, and we could tweak the brown even, Catherine, to maybe put it a tad lighter so it's not as dark on the garment. But personally, no base I think looks fantastic. That's my go-to color and printing mode. But again, it's personal preference. It really dictates what you guys want to do. You dictate that by choosing the print settings that you want. Sleeve print. No, it came out. I mean, that's really nice. We don't need to do a no base on this. I think this looks really good. It actually looks fantastic. I mean, the details and the duck here, it looks really, really good. And even below, the splashing of the water. I think this is great. We could test it on the other side with no base just to see the difference. That's what I do. That's my job. I do this day in and day out. um, so if Ariane, you see this and you know that I'm not home, well, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to make these shirts look nice. Okay. I really like these palettes. These are from Action Engineering. They're really good palettes. They're actually a lot easier to use than what I thought they would be. So it's good news. So which one? It's the lighter one, right? Lighter one. And I think this is going to look good as well. It's just going to be completely different in the sense that we're not going to see as much vibrancy. Okay, put this at 20. High quality, 4 pass mode, 10% fixation. That. Yeah. Okay. Darker. Save. Refresh. Reload. I'm excited to see how this is going to come out. You ready? Yeah. It's really cool to see these machines go. And as you can see right now, it's skipped the white bridge, right? Because we're only doing colors. So, um, in the sense, the fact that we're slowing down the print to add more ink is not that big of a problem with the time, because it takes roughly the same amount of time that if we were adding a white base to it. I think this looks amazing. I'm not getting the light beige, obviously, because I don't have any white, right? And my green is darker, but I feel like that's a saturated green. I'm not getting any bumpiness in the colors if I'm trying to get like a dark green or anything like that. It's it soaks into the garment. It's not good for any shirt, for every single shirt, but like light blue, light pink, ivory, sand, white shirts. If you're trying to get something like this is retail ready. I was on that it would be dark animal plus white text. Could we manage that? I'm assuming the no base would mean no white. That's correct. No base would mean no white. Um, so what you're trying to say is if I have a white text and for example, a black horse or black animal on the shirt, and I'm trying to get the softest feel, or maybe no shininess to it. So you want to have this no base. I mean, if I don't add any white base to my dark prints and I go into a dark shirt, we're not going to see them. So we get that shininess. There's no way around it. That's why I'm saying like the no base is the best option for light garments. Getting this effect, we need to add a base to it, or else we're not going to see the dark colors. If I do take a dark shirt and try this, it's a great question. Let's do it. Let's print on a black garment. So what image do we want to use for this? Back to orders, I think. This one maybe? Order. If we print white ink under darker colors on a dark shirt, it's gonna be like a tone on tone effect. So if we download this artwork, Catherine, and we just put it here and we print it, I just want to show you what it's gonna look like. Yeah. And thank you for joining. It's really fun to have those questions. Okay, so this, this, edit. This, save for passes. All right, we're gonna do fixation on the fly. And we're gonna go here, update this to darker. So, yeah, that Longhorn is a good example. Okay, perfect. And Catherine, do you want this on a black shirt? What's the desired result? I have a bunch of test shirts here. I think doing it on a black to showcase the black on black is a good idea. And then what I'm going to do is simply, if I print it with no base right under, we're going to see that you don't see anything. So maybe we can even do that after. Sorry if you guys heard some weird noise. I just took the garment and I had my microphone, so it's probably why it's scratched, or maybe it's even the tape. Hey Simon, do you have that roller, that lint roller? Sweet. Thank you. So as you can see, this is my sample machine. And I'm doing all this so the guys are not allowed to use it. I'm the only one using it, which is why I don't have any on a charcoal shirt. Let's see if I have a charcoal shirt. I mean, I have these shirts right here, these vintage shirts. This is a really nice shirt, and I haven't tested these. I need to test these garments to see if we're going to offer them or not. So let's try it on this shirt. Charcoal. Okay. This is like a garment wash shirt. I have no idea how these are going to print. We're going to have to test them out. But I can already see that is going to require a lot of fixation. So I'm not going to damage this shirt. I'm actually going to print it. And if it looks nice, Catherine, you're going to get a nice shirt. So this is what I do, right? As soon as we want to offer new product and make it available, I have to test it out and see if it works works great, how much fixation it needs, the print settings, if the colors come out the same as everything else. And then if that's the case, then we can start offering it. So when the guys do scan the garment, all that data is stored into the system and they can just go and print. Okay, so let's do this. I'm actually going to put it at the right spot. So that, and make it a tad bigger. It's a vintage shirt. So let's do 75. I like this. 90, 90. Yeah, that's cool. And then go back here. update this to darker. It's fun. It's like if Catherine's working with us today. Reload. Okay, so we're gonna spray some fixation on this. I'm gonna go 45 for the first one because I can see clearly that it's gonna drink a lot of water. So I also played with the fixation on this machine to see if I added more fixation, reduce the, yeah, it needs probably double that. So I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, same spray. So 45. I mean, I'm close, but I think 45 is gonna be nice. So I actually play with the dilution of this fixation in water. Normally it's a 4-to-1 dilution. I did a 3-to-1 to see if it wouldn't change anything. It's okay. I mean, let's try it. It might be missing a tad. I mean, I should probably do 10. Let's do 15 because I can still see pinholes in the garment. So let's do 15, and then we're gonna print. Doesn't matter. So 45, 45, 15 for a t-shirt is horrible in the sense that that's 105% fixation. We should be fine to print. Okay. So now it's going to do the white base. Oh, that's going to look nice. That's going to look really nice. So I'm going to take my pen and mark these down. So 45, 45, 15 fix. This is 3-to-1 dilution. And QW is 100. Okay, so 4 pass. Oh, that's amazing. You see, like if you want a tone on tone effect, there's no, like you can't go wrong with this because you need to have a sheen. You need to have a vibrant, like a brightness to it. So maybe, I mean, that's extremely dark and the weight is amazing. This looks phenomenal. I mean, it looks lighter on the screen than what it actually is. Um, and I obviously the shirt is wet, right? So right now we see this. We want to lay it as flat as possible. And I always say, don't get excited before the dryer. You want to see the end result when it's on the other side because you can get different effects. Maybe the fixation on this garment was way too much, or maybe my dilution of 3-to-1 is not good. You're going to see some results that you don't want to see. So we always have to look after the dryer. I think there might be a shirt that came out, which is the other one that we use a no base. Let's go see how that garment, how it came out. It's not there yet. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on the top of the dryer. Are you willing to pass here? Are you good? Whoop. You got to squeeze in. Oh, this looks amazing. This looks phenomenal. And I mean, it looks amazing. Personally, that's what I would do. I'd rather go a bit darker and get a tone on tone effect than try to go lighter. But again, it's personal preference. It's not to say that the other one doesn't look good. It's just, to me, I would prefer this, right? Yeah, it's really personal preference. But when I'm doing tests and I see this, this is why we added the no base feature in the design tool. We want, like, the machines can do amazing things, and why not offer it to you guys, right? So it's the reason why we did it. And now that you guys can use it and I see the results as to what it would look like, I'm like, this was a good case scenario for it. It was a lot more work for us to do that because we had to go and edit all the settings for every single garment. Anyways, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but When I see that and I see the result, it's worth it. It's worth all the time spent doing this. So I hope you guys enjoy the fact that you can control the print parameters in the machine and use to have something like this, or the other option where it's extremely vibrant and pops, right? So the hardest thing to do is get this matte dull effect on darker colors because I am adding white base to it. So as soon as I'm adding a white base to it, it's getting a shinier effect, a shinier look, a shinier feel. Um, and I understand what you guys are saying in the sense that you don't want that shiny effect. You don't want it to reflect. But if it doesn't reflect, if I just printed this on a dark shirt, we wouldn't see the dark aspect. So it's a give and take. If you guys have ideas or shirts that you like to wear that you can see or like you've printed or you done in the past, then send them to us. I would love to see. It's different aspects, different use case. I like it better. Doesn't have the shiny effect. I like it better because it doesn't have the shiny effect. Yeah. Again, the shiny effect. Let's go and I'm trying to think. There's so many things we can do with these machines, but there's stuff that we can't offer you guys in the sense it's artwork eccentric. So I can decide to put less white under my blacks, for example. I can decide to put less white under my darker colors. But if I do that, I get other problems on lighter garments. Um, that's for me to go to the drawing board and test. There's so many things that we can do. It's just how can we give it to you guys to where you have access to it and then it's scalable with volume. It's easy to do 1,000 units, 500 units of the same print and tweak all the settings and spend a few hours just testing them, right? But when it's print on demand, we have to have cases to where it's a scan to print system, whether it's giving you guys the flexibility to do that or not. I have examples that I want to show you guys just to iterate the case of like what we can offer with these machines, which is really cool. But uh, we can go down a rabbit hole extremely fast, and that gets scary to me. Where did I put that garment? Do I have it on my desk? Yeah, I might have it on my desk. I don't know. Uh, no. I'm trying to find a garment I printed earlier. I didn't print it that long ago, so it should be close by. Huh. I mean, I don't even know if I should be showing you guys these things, but I don't mind. I'd rather show it to you guys and then get some feedback and ideas than not. So, where's that shirt? I have no idea where I put that shirt. It's four color. It's four prints, exactly the same prints that are all put on a shirt, and I use the CMYK only ink set in the machine. I use a darker profile. I use a profile that is relative color metric. This is probably Chinese to you guys versus perceptual, but I used those and did a few test prints while using the different ink sets in the machine. Oh, there it is, giving me different results, right? So this is what we're using right now to give you all the colors that we want and need, in the sense that we're we're getting the all the details that we can and the most vibrancy with this setting. Now we can also go and say, okay, bump up saturation and do this here. But as soon as we bump up saturation, it takes all your darker colors and or vibrant colors and puts them all into the same pack. So if you look at the wheels here, you can see that We don't have any gray. It's all black. So the gray that was here was taken and put into the same wheel as here. So less details, more vibrancy, which is relative color metric, right? This is a way the system calculates the ink, the colors, and I can show you this on a diagram and show you exactly what the system does, but that's what it is. Then this is using the neon ink set, perceptual, relative. Now I did the same thing with only the CMYK ink set, and you can clearly see that the colors are less vibrant. I don't have as many colors here that I do here. In the sense that I'm getting a lighter beige, I'm getting some tones that I'm using neon yellows, whereas here it looks more like an off-white, right? And the customer really wanted like a cream color, so this was a lot better than this. This is our standard setting. This is what we're using for all. This is what I'm matching the colors to because this is where we can get the widest color gamut available because we're using neon ink set. But for example, when I'm printing a darker green color, it's harder to get a darker green. And the reason why it's harder to get a darker green is because it's adding that neon color in it. So if I look here, then this is a darker green that is only using CMYK ink set. And this is the same dark green, but it's using neon ink set. So it brings up that vibrancy, right? So again, when we're going to create the Pantone swatches and give you guys the hex codes and all those colors, you're going to be able to match a dark green like this using a specific hex color that we're going to send you, whether it's going to be in the app or a page or simply a chart that we're going to send to you guys that you can use in Photoshop or Illustrator. It's going to be a tool, whether it's color library. I really like that actually. Color library would be really nice. But yeah, you're going to be able to get this even if you're using the neon ink set. That's the goal, right? So we can get all the vibrancy and all the colors in the chart with one system. But it's just to iterate that we can go down a rabbit hole and offer everything on the app. And then, okay, well, I want to also remove more white under my black so it's not as shiny. And you know what? I want to bump up the hand feel. I want it to be smooth. We can do all these things with these machines. They're incredible. It's just where do we stop it and how do we scale this, right? So for example, this is a bulk order, bulk customer. They wanted no base, really soft tone on tone effect. These really nice shirts. It looks fantastic. It looks amazing. So no base, no white. And you can see we're spraying fixation underneath and then adding Q-Fix and enhancer on top to make it look really nice. Is it coming out yet? Oh, the pink fell. All right, Catherine. It goes to personal preference. Personally, on this one, I think I like the lighter one better. I like this one better. This one's a bit too dark for this one. They look really nice, but yeah. It just goes to say like, what do you want on a specific shirt? I think because this is light pink, I think that this is too aggressive, which is why I prefer this one. But it looks, if it would have been like a sand color shirt, I think this would look a lot better than this, right? Like an ivory or sand color shirt.
Yeah.
But because this is pink, I feel like this is more like a more feminine color and more feminine look than this, where it's really like bold and aggressive. Like I would wear that more, you know what I mean? But I think this is more, it goes more with the shirt. But yeah. Would it be possible to print in 2 steps? So we can't print in 2 steps. We can't separate the machine in the sense that we print the first white first and then print the black after. It's not that it's not possible. It's just not possible through the app in the sense that how can we automate this and say, okay, first time only print the white and then we put that to the dryer, it comes back, and then second time only print the black and then make sure everything is aligned. It's like impossible, right? So, yeah. Or an ivory hoodie. Yeah, that design on ivory hoodie would look really nice with no base. I think that would look really good. We can definitely do that. So yeah, to iterate the point, can we print 2 times? We can't print twice. We can reduce how much white we have under our darker colors for darker shirts. But if I remove too much white and I'm going, for example, on this garment, I'm going to get some ghosting effects, which we don't want. It looks worse. And you can also lose the aspect of it. But like, let's go in the showroom. I can show a few things. You still have battery? All right. That looks really nice. See, we see all these everywhere. Just to show you like what we can do, right? I printed a bunch of samples in the showroom of what we can do and can't do. This is printing with a 1% white base. So it's extremely soft, extremely subtle, and we're getting the vibrancy under the red because I'm using intensifier under my colors to boost them up. It's not something that's realistic for us to offer in the app and say, okay, I want this on my shirts. So it's hard. It's yeah, we have to be creative because it doesn't work for every single garment. Some garment, if I do this on it, it's going to give me like a shadow, a ghost effect because the garment has more open pores, right? So like the ink wants to soak into the pores and go into the fibers, so it does like a ghost effect. I can show you what a ghost effect is when I'm talking, but like these are all like band merch that I printed, all standard setting. I mean, this black has a lot of white under and it's shiny, but I think this looks really good on this garment. Again, that's personal preference, but I think this looks really nice. This is the one I wanted to show. So I wanted to create like a vintage look and feel. I didn't want the green and red to shine. So what I did is I printed this garment only using 40% white base. So instead of using our standard 90%, I went with a 50% white base and or 40% white base, and it's a lot softer. It's more vintage. So to get the desired result I wanted, the next step would simply add a grunge effect in Photoshop beforehand, and now print this with this setting. It would look amazing. It would look like a worn-in shirt, right? Like you would buy into like a Target or like Walmart. You see these shirts everywhere. That's the look I wanted to see. If it was possible to achieve with that machine, and I did it. So it's now how can we bring this to the app? It's not to say it's never going to happen. It's just to iterate and see how we can do this. I think this looks great, but it's not. It should be on a vintage like garment wash shirt, right? So this is a new like fade LUT effect. So this is not any halftones. It's really fading into the garment, and that's just the machine. So we create a alpha LUT channel to where the white is reduced and you see transparency now. So this is me just bumping up the whites and fixations and things like that to make it look like a vinyl or like a vintage, an old vintage, really thick screen print print using your machine. So expensive, but really nice. If you want that vintage, really thick screen print effect, that's just doesn't matter. This is replicating kind of like the look of DTF. So simple and yeah. So that's me playing around during the weekend and trying to imitate things that are already available and what we can do and push these machines to get desired results. So then it's taking this, putting it in the app, coding it to where it's available to you guys and easy to understand. I'm not going to put a system to where it says, okay, well, use relative colorimetric or perceptual. It doesn't mean anything to you guys, right? So I'd rather be creative and be like, okay, do you want more details or more vibrancy? Depending on what you want. If I were to use, like, for example, here, relative colorimetric, I wouldn't see all the shadows in his hair. So it's really things that we have to be careful with when we offer these. So does that answer a lot of things? What else should we do? Let's go see behind the dryer if we got some shirts coming. Yes, it's there. I always say, what's the best way to be patient? You find something else to do in the meantime. So when I have to put a shirt through the dryer for 11 minutes, I find other things to do. And now I can say I'm patient. See? First thing I'm getting is these garment wash shirt. It's not bleaching. The box that we're seeing here on this shirt is the fact that this garment is changing color in the dryer. So if I would go and take this garment and put it next to the new one, this is the original color. And now with heat, it disperses and comes back to natural color. It happens a lot with garment wash shirt, but we can see here that the black is really nice. Like you can see, it's a tone on tone effect, and it probably looks like charcoal because I'm adding white under, right, with light. And then if I remove the light, it's very subtle. But then the more light I add to it, it shines, it reflects. And I mean, the white is crispy white, even definition. So if we didn't want to have as much of brightness to it, like shininess to it, um, yeah, we could reduce the weight, but it's not something available in the app right now. So, uh, but I think this is really nice. I would put this up in the showroom, and I would not heat press this. I think this looks fantastic. So that's actually for me. I'm going to put this in the system. This is on. So yeah. All right. Is that it? That's a long live. It was fun. Thanks, guys, for joining, asking questions, Kat. It was really nice. And you might actually have a new shirt now next time you come. But yeah, we're going to do more of these. If you have questions, if you have artwork or designs that you're not sure how they're coming out or what you want to do to them, send them, put them in the group chat, put them in Facebook, in the Facebook group. And then we're going to take those cases and show them on the live chat and the live event every single week. And then obviously updates, things like that. We're going to go back in the office and go into the computer. But I think this is really good to show you guys how we manage them, how we do them, and how we can get the best results. So we're not trying to hide anything. We're trying to produce the best results. So this is why we're an open book and showing you guys what we do and the time we spend, right? I think this is extremely important for us and for you guys to understand how your garments are produced and the level of detail that we go into to make sure your garments are done properly. And obviously there is mistakes and we're human and we make some. That's not to say that we don't. It's just to say how can we mitigate those mistakes and make sure that your garments are produced on a day-to-day basis exactly the same from one day to the other or from one factory to another. So yeah, amazing. Thanks, Kat. I'll do the bull design. I'll test that out. And yeah, hope you have a great day, great weekend. Ciao.